මේ මගේ ටැබ් එක ඩයලොග් ලේසිපේ වලින් ගත්තේ.
ලේසිපේ ඩයලොග් හඳුන්වා දෙන ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පහසු ගෙවීමේ පෙරලිකාර විප්ලවය.
latest phone, smartphone, tab.
මාස් පතා ටික ටික ගෙවන්න. මාසෙට රුපියල් 209ක් වගේ පොඩි ගාණකටත් තියෙනවා. ක්‍රෙඩිට් කාඩ්, ස්ටෑන්ඩින් ඕඩර් මොකුත් ඕනේ.
මේ හැම දෙයක් වගේම ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් කනෙක්ෂන් උත් ලේසිපේ වලින් අරගන්න.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පහසු ගෙවීමේ පෙරලිකාර විප්ලවය ඩයලොග් හඳුන්වා දෙන ලේසිපේ. දෛනික හා මාසික ප්ලෑන්ස් දැන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ හැමෝටම මාසකට රුපියල් 209 සිට ගෙවන්න ගන්න. ඩයලොග් ශාඛාවකට හෝ බලයලත් අලෙවි නියෝජිතයෙකු වෙත පැමිණෙන්න. ඩයලොග් ලේසිපේ ටක් ගාලා ගන්න ටික ටික ගෙවන්න.
Dialogue Self-Care app is Sri Lanka's first and only award-winning app and is the best in the region with trilingual support. So we further improved the app to give more power and
Hello and a very good afternoon to all our viewers joining us on www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, and this is Singer Schools Rugby League 2016. And what a game we are here to witness. Fairly decent crowd on a Monday. This game actually was scheduled to play on Friday, and then they moved back to play on a weekday, which is a Monday. And the home team, Wesley College, hosting Isipathana College, the unbeaten team from segment 1B rather, alongside 1A segment unbeaten team was the St. Thomas's, who played really well against St. Anthony's on Saturday, winning convincingly 41 points to 11. But today we have a very good two teams playing here. Wesley coming into this game pretty much unlucky, they can consider themselves, because they lost so closely to Royal College as well as Trinity College, just 2 and 3 points margin. That was quite unlucky for them. Isipathana on the hand coming as real favourites, because they were so good in the entire season and they could not win the any silverware last season. They must be absolutely gutted with that. Also, they missed out the Sevens tournament to St. Thomas's early January, but this is probably going to be their year. So we'll have a look at the team card first of all. The home team, Wesley, Zayan Sabha, Jayawardena, Vimukti, Sirivardhana, Jayavira and Dias. Triplets and twins playing for Wesley College. Asanka Hashan, Fernando at number 8 and Avanta Lee. In fact, Avishka Lee, who's the scrummer, who will be a key player for today's game, and also the playmaker Murshid Zubair. at the fly half position, and Avantha Hashan, Gunathilaka, Avantha and Hashan and Bahardin playing at the fullback position, but they are going to miss last year's captain Omar Kutubuddin due to injury. We have also Joel Tilakaratne, who captained 2014, in the commentary box alongside Paul Toya. We can get more details about that injury in a bit, and we'll first go through the Isipathana College team sheets. As you can see on your screen, Madhushan Gunaratne, Ekanayaka Vishwajit, Gayanath Veeratunga, Nilamudin, Veerasingha Bandara, Randy Silva, the brother of Rehan Silva, who's playing for CRNFC, and also Fernando Chamud Fernando, the key winger. He has been on song this season, almost 7 tries. And Sumudur Ankotke and Silva, the skipper, Kushan Indulil Silva, so many initials for his name. And also the other winger, Padma Sankar, alongside Vikramaratna, the fullback, who's got some very good skill, especially when he get the ball. Paul, you have been witnessing this school season so far. You also watched some Isipathana playing and also Wesley playing against Kingswood. Your thoughts?
Thanks for the welcome, Savir. And I've got to say, I'm looking forward to both of these teams playing, because they'll be both coming in with a lot of confidence. I watched Wesley play Kingswood just recently, and they really put them to the sword. They played with a lot of confidence.
That's right. Let's have a look at the replacement. As you can see on your screen, Amit Sabha and Samarakon, Soumya, Shibli, Jurampati, Fernando Pereira, Walpitake and Hisham for Wesley College, and Vimadava, Manabara, Kulasekara, Fernando, Adrian, Yasas, Etiarachi, Ruberu, the fly half, Angela and Ahmed for Isipathana College. So both teams are ready in the tunnel. And Joel Tilakaratne, I beg your pardon. And we are just having some discussion by the referees. Maybe they are checking, not sure what they are checking in the, maybe the ground condition, because there were all the age matches played here in this ground. It's so soggy and you can't see the try line, so we can see on the other side, Paul, the ground staff are painting the whitewash here by the post.
Yes, that's right, and they're just doing a little bit of quick maintenance, but underfoot it does look like it's a little bit soggy and muddy, but look, I've seen games played in worse conditions than this, so I'm not sure if they're discussing the ground conditions. If you look overhead, it's a little bit overcast, but unless the rain comes, it doesn't look like anything's going to affect the game. There's no wind to speak of. It's a bit humid, the temperature's here, but it's really just underfoot, and that'll mean that they'll just adjust their game tactics. Maybe they'll play more like England and just not pass number 10 and just play a 10-man game. Well, that was the England of the old days before Eddie Jones. And also they'll make sure their passing's a lot shorter, so it won't be a huge expansive game, and both teams will try and find early footing close in and try and get over the advantage line early.
Absolutely. When you talk about make some short passes, Tikshan Heshan of St. Peter's, I was watching the game versus Royal the other day. He made so many long passes. He should have gone into contact. So in this condition, especially with the muddy condition and the wet ball, you should make those short passes into action to make some score.
Yeah, that's right. And with those short passes, you want them to be near the gain line or at the gain line, so you're running and you don't give them defences an opportunity to reset or else cover up any holes in defence, and that means that you're just going to get over the advantage line, and that's all you'll be wanting to give to your forwards. Just put the ball in front of the advantage line, and then the forwards can always be going forward. It means that the defence has to come backwards, reset and then come forward, and it's a lot harder when you're doing that all day in the mud.
And you can see this is Royal Sports Complex, the game played on Saturday between the Royal. You can see those patches in the 50-meter mark, so when it's come for a scrum time, it's going to be very hard. And also you can see patches everywhere, very soggy, trust me. And it's going to be all the jerseys, I'm sure at the end of the day. It's not going to be green or blue, it's going to be pure brown or black.
That's right, and so it'll be difficult to see who's who, but the players will know which end they're running to. So in these conditions, I'd expect teams to play for territory. Firstly, to see how that goes, then they'll put a defensive line up and try and keep him the other team in the other end. in their defensive end. And then if that doesn't work, hold on to the ball. Just play close ball at the advantage line and make the other team do more work. So you hold on to the ball and starve the opposition of possession. And I know that's what Wesley will be trying to do to Isipathana, because if the Isipathana backs get an opportunity, 12-13 is very dangerous and they can cut you up to shreds. And I'm looking forward to the contest between the two number 13s here today.
Absolutely, 12 and 13, Kushan Indunil and Sumuduran Kodge have been outstanding this season for the Greens. Their combination probably the best centre combination in this school circuit for this year. And we'll ask about the injury news from Joel Tilakaratna, the man who captained in 2014. Joel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Sabir. Looking at the lineup, I think Wesley is really going to miss out on Omar Kutubdin. He was a key player leading from last year, having played a few years back. That experience he brings, the exposure he brings to the team, they are going to miss that out on a lot. But Dayan Baharuddin, who will be stepping up to his boots, will have a lot of work to do, especially with Isipathana, the kind of rugby they play, the attacking rugby. So Dayan Baharuddin will have to watch that last line, and they will certainly miss the service of Omar Kutubdin.
So here we can see we're having a look down. I'm just having a look down at the try lines, and I think that's what the hold up is about. That's the markings of the field isn't clear enough for the referee, and the referee's just asked for the ground staff to come in and make sure that those lines are reapplied. I can't imagine they're going to be drying. The paint will be drying anytime soon, but he just wants clarification on this, so that's why there's a hold up.
I want to ask you, Paul, you being a coach now, the players did warm up around 3:50 and they went into the dressing rooms by 4:10, and for the last 25 minutes, almost 20 to 25 minutes, they're standing in the tunnel. How much it's going to cost for their fitness?
Well, once they come out, they'll know that the team leaders will know they've got to go through a little sequence to make sure that they're turned back on again, and that won't be a problem. It's really the nerves and the mental preparation that comes into question here. You know, the questions that they're asking each other and asking of themselves will go over and over their mind, and that's where the fear can set in. So what you want your players to start thinking about is what their job is first time the ball gets kicked off, and concentrate on. In New Zealand, they say it's staying in the boat. So if you're rowing in a boat race, you don't think about the finishing line, you think about the boat. And in this situation here, they need to do exactly the same thing. Make sure they concentrate on what's in front of them at the moment, not think about anything else.
That's right. So we'll see. Here comes a team finally into the middle. Wesley in their double blues. You can see new faces coming to the scheme. I had a chat with Coach Jeevan and Amal, and they are having 3 to 4 injuries rather. One is of course the playmaker, like Joel said, Omar Kutubdin, and he was so good against Kingswood. He scored 2 tries and made few turnovers, and his kick and chase was brilliant. So this young look Wesley side, how are they going to take the hot favourites Isipathana College now? They are doing a clear thing. They were doing some warm up. This is what I was talking about, Paul. They was waiting almost 20 minutes in the tunnel, and here they come into the field. They're not wasting their time.
That's right, they're just turning back on again. They're just getting their ball skills going again, turning their hands on, turning their skills. So what it does is it just clicks the mind over. What you expect at this level also is that players know how to get themselves ready. Gone are the days now where a coach would be thumping his hand on the table and trying to rev his team up and motivate them all. Now you give your players the responsibility of motivating themselves. They have to get themselves into the right mindset. Some players need to calm down. Some players need to get revved up. And so a coach can't do that for all of them, but he just gives that responsibility to the players, and the players start taking that on board themselves.
Here we go. Coach Jeevan just coming to the field, into the center, giving some instruction. Maybe they just want to do some ball handling. Because like we were discussing, Isipathana, they just came into the field and they were doing some drills because they were standing, and the weather is also not too warm. And there's a coach, Jeevan Gunathilaka. Of course, he coached St. Thomas's last season, former Thomian of course. Also captained the under-20 Sri Lanka back in 2000. Heading to the IRB Championships.
I thought he was. I thought I think he's done a good job so far this year. They were unlucky in their 2 losses. They've looked good, and let's hope that their confidence is still high, especially after that game against Kingswood. But here they're going to be tested, and this is what you play for as a rugby player. You want to find out how good you are against the best, and today Wesley are going to find out that.
Absolutely, you can see Coach Henry Tredence, of course, former Wesleyite, who took Wesley for the President Trophy in 2013, and also Nilfa Ibrahim, the man with the blue hat rather. One of the outstanding coaches that Sri Lanka has produced. Very good technician who also coached Sri Lanka Sevens team, and he also coached Isipathana last season. Unfortunately, they could not hold on to any trophies, but he did coach in the 2014 where Chenal Deelakers men became triple champs for Isipathana College. So the Greens and the Blues are doing some training. There's the man we were talking about. Joel, have you gone through any of the coachings from Nilfa or Jeevan during your time?
Yes, I've in 2012 Jeevan Gunathilaka coached Wesley, and where Wesley ended up as the champions of B division, and Nilfa Ibrahim also has coached the Sri Lankan under-20s. So both of them bringing a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight to these players.
Absolutely, indeed. It's 10 minutes late from the usual kickoff time. It's 4:40 at the moment, but we are not sure how long they're going to take for the kickoff.
So that's information that you want your team manager to go and find out. So your manager or your facilitator, he's the man that gets makes sure everything happens, and you want him to be constantly talking to the referees, finding out how long it's going to be, so that he can pass on information to the coaches. So that you want your players to be coming on and peaking and just coming onto the boil as we're getting ready to do the game, so you can fire them off, because as soon as the whistle goes, the coaches can't do anything more. So now, this is when they were earning their money. This is when you need a good coach to be well organised, so that the players feel confident. They feel that they've done everything they can before the game starts.
Absolutely, and pretty decent crowd, as you can see, for a day like a working day, a Monday. And also, unfortunately, you can't see the Sky Pavilion here at Royal Complex. It's also half filled. Well, I would say more than half. Very good Isipathana supporters here as they come as usual. Green Army, they say. Now also the worry is Paul, the referees, even before the kickoff, they have to make sure the security is on the spot for them, because we saw against the Trinity match after the end, there was a brawl. Also Isipathana versus Science College, there was a brawl.
That's right, and look we've I've seen articles on ThePapare.com that have spoken about a respect that rugby has for players and for team management and for referees, and I actually believe that it's the rugby community that needs to show respect for referees, because if there's no referee, there's no game. If there's no opposition, there's no game. And if there's no team, there's no game. So you've got to respect all of those positions, and let's hope there's that respect is growing here as well.
All right, so the referees comes into the middle. Referee Rohan Fernando, of course, a former Air Force player. He's one of the upcoming referees according to the Sri Lanka Referee Society. Former Air Force player, of course. He's the man in charge for the Isipathana versus Science game 3 weeks ago. And things are pretty much settled down now. We are late by 15 minutes.
Captain, are you ready?
12 minutes rather, and fullback Gayan Vikramaratne to take the kickoff for the Greens, attacking from right to left. On your screens, there goes Vikramaratne with a lovely kickoff. It was almost stolen by number 6, but there goes Shamud Fernando with his first touch, the winger. Sending a short pass. Gayanat going into contact. Silva to Kushan Indranil, the skipper. A lovely run. Randy Silva fending off Avantali. There goes Ekanayak, the prop forward, number 3. Good turnover this time by Wesley. His opposite number, it was Vimukti. Brilliant stuff. Ekanayaka was going into contact very high. He should probably use his lower center of gravity. A lovely basketball pass by Isipathana. There's the threat comes. Sumuduran Kotge, the man in form, goes into contact. Lost forward. Play on, says referee Fernando. Once again, ball comes loose. You have to play for the whistle. But Padma Sanka on the far wing finds a touch. So we're going to have the first line out of the day. Good start for Isipathana, showing some great intensity already.
Yeah, that's right. And I saw they passed it out at the first opportunity to the centres and let them have a run. So it's an early touch for them, and that's what you want to see. So they're not worried about the wet ball or the conditions. They're going to play long passes as well.
That's a lovely catch in there by Fernando on that line out. Inside pass coming into Srinivardhana.
Step back.
Avishka Lee, the scrum half. He's so good in the box kick. And this time also he puts into the open space. Pretty decent kick as two chasers comes in. His brother Avantali, number 13, he just missed that tackle on his opposite number, Sumuduran Kotge.
Step back.
Kushan Indunil coming to the first support. Randy Silva to Ekanayaka. He's isolated, looks like a turnover, and it is brilliant stuff by Wesley College. Ekanayaka was isolated on that occasion.
Number 3. Holding no.
I've got to say, it does look like Wesley College are up for this. Their intensity, the breakdown's excellent, and they're choosing when to go in and when not to go in. And this is the second time they've turned the ball over in the first 5 minutes.
And also looking at the Ekanayaka, when he going into contact, we saw in the first run also the ball was turned over. This time also a little too high, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, that's right. You need to keep your low body position, and it's the one in these sort of conditions, the one who's lower to the ground, who gets under the shoulders of the opposition. He's going to win the contact. So we need to see that more from the players who have the ball.
Javardhana to put the throw in. Once again, another neat line out. Wesley, they had so much issues, but here come the driving maul. Looks like they're storming past the greens. As it collapses, Lee sending it to Zubair. Lovely loop pass, lovely decoy run. Zubair just missed the footings. He just slips on that soggy field, and the ball knocks it on. There comes Isipathana. Inside the red zone, Wesley entering the red zone for the first time. Randy Silva. That's a brilliant kick by Randy Silva. Under pressure, but great control and showed some great composure.
Either way, it was a beautiful backline move there by Wesley. They got around the outside of the outside centre, so they found the outside edge, and that was all about the two centres running a straight line, and that committed the third 12-13. And the 10 came around and just tried to straighten up, and he lost his footing. He had two players outside. It was I think it was 3 versus 1, wasn't it? It was wide open.
Absolutely, he had more options, but should have pass and support perhaps. Anyway, once again, Wesley had 2 lineouts, 2 out of 2 good lineouts. Here's the third one once again. This time Isipathana not engaging, but they decided to engage now. Double blues going forward. Already made almost 15 meters now. Entering the red zone. Referee says use it once. Avantali. Oh, that's poor coordination by Wesley College. There comes Isipathana. Bahadrin misses, and Padma Sanka boots the ball and he knocks it on. Unfortunately, a real opportunity goes begging for Isipathana College. And what a lovely run. Here you go, Bahadrin, number 15 for Wesley. He didn't have, as Padma Sanka just beat him, but look at him just touching that ball. He should have booted because he could have scored that easily, Paul.
He probably should have kept it on his toe, but the referee, it looks like he might have missed that little knock on. It was a little tap forward, and referee Fernando, I think he's playing that the ball was taken back, and so it's a 5-metre scrum, and it looked like Isipathana just knocked the ball on there. The ref's always closest, and he knows what's going on.
Absolutely, Joel. You being a fly half, Murshid just could not execute that plan for the last 2 opportunities. Joel, your thoughts on that?
Well, Sabe, the first one he could have definitely given it out and he lost the slipping, and here we saw just the planned move not executed properly. I think there was a little bit of communication issues, and you saw the move did not come as they expected to, and that was really costly. So they've pretty much gone back 60 meters back, and now they're back in their red zone in much of a pressure situation.
Really was a get out of jail card they played there. They were cut to pieces. It looked like the winger was coming through. He just needed to keep it on his boot, and but that's where you see how much a game can ebb and flow. It looked like Wesley had all the running of the game, 3 great lineouts. They put pressure on. They'd made a break. They looked like they were going to score. One missed pass, ball's turned over, and then it's right down the other end.
Indeed, we saw Sajid Roshan of Science College scoring a 100-meter try inside their own goal to running opposite to Trinity territory on Saturday, where Science College won 15 points to 12. But here you go. Avishka Lee, the scrum half, and it was not steady because it's slippery. When you get the heavy tight fives getting engaged, it's always going to be a hard task. Correctly so, referee Fernando moving the scrum. Few yards from the exact mark. Say crouch, bind and set. Once again, it's not steady.
Bind, number 1 bind. Early.
Free.
Early.
Early engagement, number says 3. Referee Fernando.
Number 3.
But looking at the body position on that scrum, Paul, they're not really square. They're pretty much like higher positioning all the front rows.
Yeah, that's right. Their body shape wasn't great. It didn't look great there, and their binds looked a little bit loose. It looked a little bit scrappy, but the early engagement is what gave it away for the referee.
Well, Murshid Zubair kicks it to the danger man. That's Chamud Fernando, number 11. There comes Randy Silva. Ball carrier changing directions. Numbers out wide to Isipathana College. There goes Padmastanka, the speedster. Lovely offloads coming in. That's Gunaratna going into contact. Brother of Amalka Gunaratna. I beg your pardon. In fact, here he goes now for the rescue, number 7. But once again, Isipathana Bandara sending out wide. Option out wide. Padmastanka fumbles. Referee playing the knock-on advantage. Just could not hold on to the composure.
Yeah, that's right. We see a little replay here, and that Isipathana have already lost the ball at that point, but twice they got outside the outside edge of the outside centre, and that's an area that Wesley will have to make sure that they tighten up and have numbers out wide. They had maybe 4 or 5 people that they missed with one pass when Isipathana passed it wide. So what defences need to do is get their eyes up, look, and make sure that they're marking a man, because there's no point for him being on one person and then leaving space on the outside. But I'm surprised Isipathana can't finish those off.
And also, I'm not sure why Zubair take the tap and kick infield rather than kicking it outside without taking the cap, because they are pretty much doing so well in the lineouts. Once again, a scrum is a real issue. As you can see the Wesley front rowers, Javardhana, Sabha and Vimukti.
Come here.
Captain Sabha on the loose head, wearing number 1. And for Isipathana, number 6 and number 8. They are 2 good runners, 2 mobile players. Vagisha and Adisha Veeratunga and Vagisha Veerasinghe, the number 8. Doesn't look like a number 8. Well, this time penalty goes against the home team. Good call by referee Fernando, because Wesley not steady, not straight. Well, Bandara takes the quick tap. Interesting call. That's a big Wiswajit, number 4. Going into contact. Isipathana opting not to go for the points. They are eager to make an early impact and get the try. Bandara sending a long pass. Randy Silva to his skipper Kushan Indunil. He's down. He's pretty much isolated. But the support just arrives on time. And it's a knock on by Rankodge.
Looked like they had the numbers there on the outside as well, but you saw that the defence came up and they just need a little bit more depth. Isipathana needed to adjust their running speed there. When the defence is coming hard and you need to pass the ball out, you just slow down a little bit, shorten your steps, and then you can have enough time to pass the ball on. But it looks like Isipathana are starting to wake up. They started a bit slowly and they still look like they're on a little bit of a holiday, but now they're starting to come into the contact. And you see that with teams that have had a little break, 2 or 3 weeks, and they take time to work into the contact.
Absolutely. And I'm not really sure why Isipathana did not go for the 3 points. Early points always good. We are here heading for the 11th minute of this Singer Schools Rugby League. And the score remains 0-0 here at the Royal Sports Complex. And this is the Cup segment game played here between Wesley College and Isipathana. Of course, on Saturday, St. Peter's versus Royal College. It was 33-24 for Royal College in this venue. And that was a epic comeback by the Royalist. Lee feeds that scrum. Good break by number 8. Fernando. He might opt the box kick. Good pressure coming from his opposite number, but once again it's Chamud Fernando with the ball in hand. Fernando steps. Fernando, lovely offload to the fullback, and good tackle coming by Baharin, and good camaraderie by both the players, both the number 15s. Good to see that.
That's right. They're both rugby players. They're all from the same family, so they're rugby brothers. But it was interesting how Isipathana put the pressure on there, and even though they didn't have the put into the scrum, they really made it difficult for Wesley to exit out of that area, and that's what you want. If you're not going to win the set piece, let's make it as difficult as possible for the opposition.
This time Wesley opting a short line out. It's not really good. The first miss of the line out, but somehow secured the ball. Lee might use the box kick, although he doesn't find much distance on that kick, but that kick made Wesley to come out of jail.
That was a better kick by Lee. I think he needs to work them away from the danger zone, from their red zone here, and start playing a little bit more possession. We know that Isipathana are just going to run the ball back all the time, so I believe that with his kicking game, he should put them down in the other end.
Good line out. Bandara sending out to Randy Silva. Randy to Kushan Indunil. There goes Wagisha. Going into contact. Bandara changing direction to Randy Silva. There comes Gayan Vikramratne, the fullback. That's number 6 going into contact. Adisha Veeratunga, lovely off. Ball position, ball controlling. Isipathana once again using Madhushan this time. Kushan Indunil using his boots, and that's a knock on in the air. Well, I thought he opted to kick. I had a feeling whether it's an advantage play, but it was not.
No, it wasn't, but it looked like he saw that there was some space out there, which was surprising because the winger was back, or maybe it was the fullback waiting, but they had more numbers on that far side. And it was a good contestable kick.
Absolutely good awareness by the captain Indunil. Referee Fernando having a word with the
Coach!
to the forwards, because the scrum has not been so accurate so far. Both teams conceding penalties and free kicks. As you can see, the body position, it's not really good. Fernando with the ball, the number 8 for Wesley. This time Lee sending it to Zubair. And that's a quick line out being taken. The referee says play on. Gayan Vikramaratne to Chamud Fernando. Lovely step by Chamud Fernando, and lovely inside pass to Gayan Vikramaratne, who deserves the try. He had few chances, but here comes Isipathana College, scoring the first try on the 15th minute with the conversion to come. Superb skills, superb understanding with those two.
That's right. So what they did firstly, how they set their try up was they put pressure on the defensive exit, made sure that the kick didn't go very far, and then their backs were straight onto it. So they it was a quick throw in. They saw that the space was out wide. The winger, the fullback, he passed the ball across to the winger and then came across and supported, and then that's why he was on the inside and he took the ball and went over.
Paul, I think Wesley needs to really work on their exit strategy. They are quite limited with their options. You see Avant Lee taking the box kick and not really making any yards, and neither did Zubair, where the quick option was available and Wesley did not expect it. So they were caught napping, and it was try time for Isipathana. So Wesley needs to change up a little. They need to have a better exit strategy and definitely play in the other half.
Absolutely, definitely to play in the other half, but this time Gayan Vikramaratne, after scoring the try, he misses an easy kick. We don't know how much it's going to cost. As you can see in the replay, referee ThePapare. Quick line out taken by Padma Sanka on the far end. There's Vikramaratne, the man with a dazzling feet, and this is Samud Fernando. When you get one-on-one situation versus Fernando, it's always tough. And take a look at that offload. Great awareness, great support play. Try time. So it's 5 points to nil in favor of Isipathana College, as Murshid Zubair trying to take the restart.
Okay, you see.
I'd imagine Wesley will be looking to hold on to the ball a little bit in the opposition half here. The possession's really dried up for them in the last 5 minutes.
Indeed, and they had 2 chances, but that's not a good kick. He overcooked it, and it's going to the dead line. So it's going to be a 50-meter scrum.
What do you want? Re-kick? Oh, it's
Not a good start Wesley wanted.
come.
Yeah, that's right. And I saw, I was watching the game on Saturday, St Anthony's versus St Thomas's, and St Anthony's were right in the game until 2 errant kickoffs and handed the advantage back to St Thomas's. And let's hope that Wesley aren't going to make the same mistake. So it's just those tiny little mistakes. Like that's a small mistake. But now look where their team is. They're in the middle of the park. It's probably one of the hardest positions to defend. Isipathana can go both ways. Obviously the halfbacks are on the left-hand side from Isipathana's way of looking at it. So the right-hand side's open. The fullback's directly behind the scrum. The attacking options are numerous. So it's danger time here for Wesley.
Bandara feeds the ball. Wesley is showing some great pressure on that scrum. Wagisha, lovely step to Bandara, lovely offload to Sumudu Rankodge, and he pops the ball forward.
Great tackle there by the fullback. Dislodged the ball, but here we see a simple 8-9 move. So just the number 8 picks the ball up off the back, draws the flanker, sets the number 9 away, and this is great play by their halfback. He sees a gap and goes for it, and still gets time to feed the ball away. And Conge, he just took it into contact there. It looks like he was trying to look for a pass, and he fumbled the ball around. As soon as he hit contact, the ball was dislodged.
Another scrum. This is the 5th scrum for Wesley inside their red zone. Wesley. Too many forwards involving on that occasion. Jawad just could not hold on to the ball. Looks like a slight knock on. And Joel says number 3 coming outside channel, outside the gate. So it's a penalty. Another opportunity for Wesleyites to come out of jail.
I did like that exit strategy they used there. Instead, the number 8 picked up Fernando, the number 8 picked up and came off, and they took it one more ruck. So they asked one more question of Isipathana, and I think that's what they need to do. They just need to keep asking, are you going to stand up at defence at ruck time and keep and putting defenders in? and just keep pushing away, and it'll open up space. Because I saw there after they took one more, the backs for Isipathana were compressed, and there was a space out wide past the 13.
You can see at the background few future rugby players watching this game, all in greens, and the other side of the park, the Wesley kids. But here you go, Javardhana with the throw-in. Once again, it was taken. It was won by Isipathana. That's Vishwajit who took the ball and offloaded to his support player, Randy Silva, to Adisha. In fact, Vagesha, the fullback, there goes Guy and Vikramaratna to Sumuduran Kodge. Another inside ball. Isipathana backs been working this wet ball so well so far. It's a turnover this time. Lee with the ball and opting to kick that into the open space. That's number 6, Adisha Veeratunga. Lovely step. And that pass going to Padma Sankar, the speedster. Looks like a turnover. No, suppose arrives just on time for Isipathana College. Bandara to Indunil. Indunil fends off. The skipper looks for the offload. Lovely ball to Randy Silva. That's Isipathana number 5, Gayanath. There goes Ekanayaka. Plenty of space out wide. It's 4-on-1 out wide, but unfortunately, scrum half Bandara just misses the ball on that occasion. They had numbers out wide, Paul.
Yeah, there was huge numbers, and the halfback has maybe the halfback saw that as well, and he was just thinking about that try line. But saw some great play there from Isipathana. Firstly, the line from the winger coming in off the flanker's pass, coming back from the kick, and then and just before that, you saw that Wesley pushed up in defence. They had more numbers, but Isipathana somehow worked it out so that they got the ball over the advantage line again, and that's what you need in these conditions. Just get over the advantage line each time.
They're heading to the 23rd minute, and Isipathana leading 5-0 with courtesy of fullback Gayan Vikramaratna scoring the first try.
Set. Don't push.
Here's
Don't push.
Avishka Lee, the
Don't
scrum
push.
half.
Don't push.
Well, the scrum has not been so good. It's not accurate. Murshid Zubair sending out to the winger. That's number 23. I think that's Jurampati. There goes captain going into contact. Sabah
Advantage.
playing
Off the
advantage.
feet.
Off the feet, says referee
Number
Fernando.
7 off the feet.
Lee to Zubair. Zubair opting to run and then put the kick into the open space. It's a good territorial kick.
Advantage over.
Oh, too easy for Guy and Vikramaratna. These two have very good combination, very good awareness, but that kick bounces in favor of Isipathana as captain Indunil going into contact with the ball. But once again, he knocks it on. As a result, Isipathana scoring opportunity goes begging.
No advantage. Over kara puta. Gain kara.
Yes, and here we see Subir, the number 10, asking the referee, what about the advantage on the other side? And he's got a good case here, because the advantage that they got wasn't really a penalty advantage. It didn't look like. They just kicked the ball down, and maybe that might have been a knock-on advantage. But as I always say, it's up to the referee. He's got the whistle.
See how much confidence
Boys,
that
I'm
Gayan
not happy.
and
I'm not happy.
Chamod Fernando, especially running in their own
I want
territory, because
steady
they
stuff,
have
okay?
so much good awareness. Paul.
mark
This is
here.
what you don't see from other school when they played, but we saw that a little bit from Science, and we saw a little bit of Mayon Jayawardena and Hina Kankangwe of St. Thomas's. But these two combination, outstanding.
Yeah, that's right. And that's work they put in during the week. That's where their confidence comes from.
Get back.
This time pressure mounting from Isipathana, but Wesley somehow managed to win that scrum as Lee going into contact. That's Avanta Lee. Captain picks and run. Made few yards on that occasion, but still Wesley playing inside their red zone. Once again, good ploy. This is what Royal did against St. Peter's. Pick and run. In the meanwhile, we have an injury on the field. And this time the ball bounces over Gayan Vikramaratna. he sends it to Padmasankar, the number 14. Padmasankar running to the sideways. Waiting for his support, Wesley. Good tackle coming on that time. Seal the turnover ball. Lovely offload to Bahardin by Jayawardena. Wesley on the halfway mark. Still numbers. Good hit coming in by number 17.
Advantage. Offside number 12.
After playing advantage.
Number 12.
So it's, I
offside.
think it's Kushan Indunil, the skipper, was offside on the occasion.
So from the crow's nest where we're sitting, we've got a great view of the field, and you can see there's a lot of open spaces. You see that Fernando, the winger for Isipathana, comes in and defends really narrowly a lot, and there's a lot of space on his wing. So if Wesley can identify that space, they can find with a kick or something, they can exploit that space. They'll do well there. And there's also the defensive line of Isipathana is very strong, and they're pushing up tight. But just on the other side of that defensive line, there's a lot of space too. So let's hope that Wesley get their eyes up, look for the space, and then exploit that.
Jayawardena to put the throw in. He had pretty much 75% success rate so far. Good throw in, very good collection. And that'll make him 80% success rate. He just missed one. Lee sending it to Zubair. Zubair trying to sneak through that 10 and 12 channel. Oh, another knock on, but hands in the rock, says referee Fernando. Very good decision.
Number 23.
It looked a little bit cynical, that penalty, and it,
Not roll away.
you know, you got to ask the question when they're that hot on attack. Is that going to? Yeah, you'd ask the question to the referee. You know, is that cynical, and is that does that warrant a card, or at least a word, or say something about it?
Indeed, and also we like to mention that ThePapare.com is available all the social media platforms. We are a 24/7 news hub targeting national and international sports news. So catch us on all the social media platforms: Facebook.com, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud version.
I see just in back play the centre, one of the Lee brothers for Wesley. He's it looks like he's carrying another knock, and I haven't seen him play many games where he doesn't pick up a knock during the game, and he's such an integral part of their backline. I'd like to see him get through a whole game without getting some sort of knock to the head or leg or something.
He seems to be a very player who likes to attack, but we do not see him that from. I think he is carrying a little bit of injury, and here we see Wesley booting over the 3 points. So it's a wise decision to take the 3 points, narrowing the gap rather than going for the trial. And so now it's a 5-3, and Wesley will ready to be attacked. And Isipathana, on the other hand, will now look to capitalize and bring back their game.
Umar Kutubuddin, the man who's missing this game, who bought the kicking tee. Of course, captain the last year for Wesleyites. Sadly, he has to go through a surgery. And it's a 5-3. The deficit is just 2 points here at the Royal Complex. And we are heading to the 30-minute mark. And that's a restart from Gayan Vikramatha. Lovely collection in the air by Siriwardena. Lee to Zubair, the skipper. Lovely inside pass to Avishka. Avishka trying to offload that. Unfortunately, knocks it on. This is what Wesley should do. Wesley should not try to attack inside their own half. They should have played territorial game.
No advantage.
Yeah, well, maybe it was a nice little pass. First off, to get through the hole, and he just needed to hold on to the ball, wait for his forwards to come, because as we've spoken about already, if you can get over the advantage line, that means all your forwards are coming onto the ball, and Isipathana were really having to get around and do a lot of work to even set a defensive line, let alone get up and make a tackle.
Absolutely, indeed. It's lovely weather condition.
Both guys, you go correct place, okay?
It's 5 points to 3 in favor of Isipathana. Both teams playing some Decent rugby.
Set.
Decent running
Don't push,
rugby.
don't push.
And once again, it's a sloppy scrum.
Oh, it's a lottery. These things have become a lottery now. The referees just, who's he going to penalise? But this area here is a difficult place to defend. You're 40 metres out from your own try line, defending. It's a left-hand side scrum for Isipathana, so the right-hand side of the field's all opened up. The winger has to stay back because a kick might come through as well. So they've really got the numbers, Isipathana, so it's difficult for Wesley here.
Play on.
Kushan Indonil breaks and lovely offload to Gayan Vikramaratne, who scored the first try and turned over. This time Wesley. No one in the back. Now Padmasankar and Gayan moving as Avish Kelly puts that kick out on the full, and that hits the medical staff, in fact.
Was touched. Obviously, it went out on the full, but it must have been touched by a Wesley, Isipathana player on the way through. But another incisive move from Isipathana. Great covering, but you saw there the first job in defending that scrum was to have a good scrum, and they wheeled the scrum around and made it difficult for Isipathana to get the ball away.
Clever line out this time, Jayawardena. Wesley not lifting anyone on that occasion as Captain Sabah taking that shot, going into contact this time. Isipathana trying to steal that ball, should have released.
Knock back, knock back.
Another fumble, referee says knocks back, and that's a cross football kick. Once again, Sumudhu Rankodgi knocks it on. So comedy of errors here at the Royal Complex. While ago, the ball going and hitting at the medical staff.
So it looked like they just swapped the ball for a bar of soap. No one could actually hold on to it, but it was a weird decision to have a fly kick at the ball when you're 20 metres from your own line. There's no one else behind you. The commentary box, we're all shaking our head. I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah, we saw a kind of not similar, rather. I don't know what kick you may call a bicycle kick or a backwards kick. I don't know. We saw Sapuanga making that kick on the Super 15s game, and we saw also Diaz Fernando making that kick for St. Peter's against Royal last week.
Number 3.
But this time not really a good kick, but still the ball is with Wesley, so they perhaps could come out of jail. So Joel says with the referee's mic, referee Fernando warning the Isipathana number 3 tight head, that's Ekanayaka. He needs to be nice and square. Here we go, Wesley, Zubair sending it to Lee. This is the man Paul was talking about, the number 13. We didn't see much, he's a very good player. He played so well against Royal. There comes the captain, good hit coming by Gunaratne. Wesley still struggling to come out of jail, but that's a very good kick under pressure by Bahardin. Isipathana offside, conceding a penalty, so another good opportunity for Wesley as to come out of jail. So Isipathana capitalizing, but they just could not finish.
That's right, and they are putting a lot of pressure on, and that time they got caught offside, but there must be something that the coaching staff have had a look at and said, look, let's push the referee and let's see how he's going to interpret this. But Wesley really need to work on their exit plays. They've got to be a lot cleaner at this, and something that they'll be working on Monday, I'm sure. Tuesday.
And what a lucky chance for Wesley. Zubair kicking that, it's going straight into Padmasankar. He just pops the ball. You can see how much mud in those boots and how much a little heavier the ball with that mud being stick. So it's not really easy
Number 3 cross.
to kick the ball into touch.
That's right, the conditions don't make it easy, but if we wanted it to be easy, we'd be playing football. But they really do need to get the ball out of this area. And I've noticed when they do run the ball, there's an opportunity to get around the outside of of the edge of Isipathana. So they can run the ball and then look like they, and as soon as they get in open space, maybe kick the ball. Also, another way they can get out of here is as soon as they turn the ball over, Isipathana attack so heavily that all their backfield players come forward on attack. If they turn the ball over, quick kick down the other end and they might pay some real dividends.
Last warning.
Referee Fernando so far had a good game.
Right, okay?
And once again giving the instruction. He already won the Isipathana number 3. That's Ekanayaka, the tight head prop.
Bind!
Avantali and Avishkali. It's a lovely break by Isipathana number 8. I beg your pardon, that's Fernando, the Wesley number 8. There goes Avishka, the lock forward Wesley. He fends off one. Randy Silva. That's a long ball by Murshid. Good tackle coming in by Ran Kodge. Wesley just playing right to left. A switch and a knock on by Wesley number 7. That's Asanka Hashan.
No advantage.
One of the triplets knocking on.
Now we have a look here, and this is what I like to see from Wesley. They just take, it's a pick and go, and that's what I was saying earlier. They just ask a question, another question of the defence, and then they get over the advantage line, and then as soon as that happened, they had number spare on the outside, and the number 10, Subir, he really needed just a pass. The big, huge skip pass, he skips what, 3 of his own players, 2 of his own players, and goes straight to the outside. It means that the defence can just move straight onto the outside man.
Wait for my
and
call,
doesn't really
bro.
give an opportunity
Wait
and
for
doesn't
my
take
call,
advantage of the extra numbers.
That's perhaps he decided to put that long pass ball. There's one player who slips, and that distracts the attacking line for Murshid Zubair perhaps. And that's a knock on by Asanka Hashan. There goes Isipathana. Bandara to Captain Indunil. Lovely inside ball to Ran Kodge. This is the center combination that we were talking early in the game. Referee Fernando says knocks it back. Wesley under little pressure situation. Vagisha acting as the scrum half. Isipathana marching forward. Referee playing advantage. Not releasing, says referee Fernando. There goes Vikramaratna trying to dummy through the Wesley defender. He was brought down. Inside ball, that's big. Vishwajit, the lock forward. We saw how good Joe launched were yesterday with the number 4. Vishwajit once again going into support. Ekanayaka, pick and run. Referee once again playing advantage. This is not the first time Ekanayaka was stood up on the contact. But even though Wesley going to win this ball, the referee going to come back to the penalty.
Number 4.
Quickly taken by the number 8. Vagisha Veerasinghe. So eager to put his name on the scoreboard. Bandara sending out to Randy Silva to Kushan Indunil. Another good offload to Ran Kodge. There's Shamoth Fernando. Looks like a brilliant tackle coming in by Bahadin. He's been so good so far. Wesley defend under the squash, but still doing well. Bandara to Indunil. Defending so well. Randy Silva opting to go into contact the fly half. Isipathana. Good tackle coming in by Jayawardena. Bandara sending out wide. Numbers out wide and knocks it on. This time by Sumudran Kodge.
So they might be coming back for playing a little bit of advantage, and we have a look at the replay there, and I thought Isipathana were doing pretty well not to get penalised for going on off their feet here, but doesn't play on. They had huge numbers there on the right hand side.
Once again, Isipathana don't want to take any line outs and use their driving maul. Instead, they opted to take the quick tap and run. Lovely offload, but unfortunately, it's going to find touch. So, opportunity goes begging. Any idea that Isipathana not opting those line out and driving maul or even a scrum ball?
I suppose they believe that their line out isn't isn't dominant enough and they want to hold the ball in hand. The scrum really has just been a lottery anyway, so I can understand why they wouldn't want to go to the scrum, but they have been winning their own ball, so it is an option. But I've seen that it seems like when they take a quick kick, a quick tap, it's just one player coming up and running up by himself, and what you really need is him plus two people cleaning out. You want quick ball coming straight back so the defensive line can't reset and then go forward. And what I've liked about Isipathana so far is that they're 10, 12, 13 run a very straight line, and that really holds the defence, and that's the difference here today in the back lines.
Avantali feeding in the ball to the scrum, and we see the number 8 breaking off. Wesley will try to seal off the ball here and definitely try to escape from their own territory, and Subair put the ball and it's right into the hands of their danger man.
Wickramaratne to the other danger man, Chamod Fernando. Lovely step. Chamod Fernando looking for support, looking for offload. There goes Gayan Wickramaratne. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Brilliant awareness by these two. And whenever, like I said, Chamod Fernando gets the ball, he either passes to right or left. So good, and so a good understanding by Wickramaratne as he scored the second try, Paul. Brilliant stuff.
That's right. It was all set up by Fernando and his on the wing, and it's his direct running line that does it. He just asked the question of a defence: if you're not going to tackle me, I'm going to run straight through. And he ran a good line and put the defence into two minds. Stepped inside. It's easy to find a weak shoulder here in these conditions, and then just attracts defenders all the time, doesn't he? And then a little pass on the inside and puts his fullback away.
Absolutely. Look at the mud that Gayan Wickramaratne has on his shorts and the shirts. And this conversion will perhaps take into the half-time. Gayan Wickramaratne missed the first conversion with a similar angle, similar distance. And the spectators also showing some great respect for the kicker, to the kicker. Wickramaratne once again misses, so he missed both the conversions, as the Wesley referee Fernando says. That's the half-time. Wesley trailing 3 points to 10. Isipathana going with a 7 points lead. What would be the message in the dressing room by the coaches, Paul?
I think for Wesley, it looks like when you kick the ball long, you've got to make sure your kick chase actually spreads out across the field, especially look for Fernando, who's going to run direct. They've got to work on their exit policy. For Isipathana, they need to keep doing the same sort of thing. They need to keep running hard and straight at 10, 12 and 13. They're getting great space on the outside of 13, so they'll look at that. I think Wesley can make a few gains up the middle. They close to the ruck, they seem to just be able to take up space and get over the advantage line there. So those will be the messages that they'll be talking about.
So it's half-time here at the Royal Complex. This game between Wesley College versus Isipathana College, and this is Singers Schools Rugby League Cup segment. Of course, Gayan Wickramaratne, the fullback for Isipathana College, scoring both the tries, and Wesley scored just one penalty from Avishkali. And you can see the last conversion where Gayan Wickramaratne missed it. Unfortunately, we could not get into that. But anyway, just also we like to bring you the other scores in this cup segment on Saturday. St. Peter's versus Royal College. This is the replay of the last try. Look at the run. Number 11, Chamod Fernando. He did the similar offload, similar fashion in the first try where Gayan Wickramaratne scored. And Paul was talking about the combination 10, 12 and 13, and I would like to add that 15 and 14 into that. So that makes an outstanding line for Isipathana College. And also our advertisement platform is available, Sri Lanka's most pulsating digital media platforms, ThePapare.com for rates and info. Contact on the number on your screen or the email info@thepapare.com. So that's all we have for the first half actions, and we'll be right back soon with the second half action. Stay tuned.
breath you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every step you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every step you take.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialogue roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise,
Just get dialogue roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
one guaranteed best rate on any network. Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries. With dialogue roaming, clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here we are. Can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use Dialog data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
කොහේ ගියත් කොතැන හිටියත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා පිලේ එංගලන්ත සංචාරයේ උණුසුම් අවස්ථා ඔබේ මොබයිල් එකෙන් සජීවීව ඩයලොග් මයි ටීවී වෙතින්ම පමණයි. ඩේටා කාස්තුවක් නොමැතිව දවසටම රුපියල් 333ක් වැනි සුළු මුදලකට ඇති තරම් නරඹන්න. ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ටයිප් කර 82.82කට SMS කරන්න. ඩයලොග් වෙතින් මයි ටීවී අනාගතය ආදායි.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every step you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Progress starts with a dream. Through connectivity, technology, and talent, that dream can become a reality. Asiata, with you every step you take.
Hello and welcome back to the Royal Sports Complex here at the Singer Schools Rugby League 2016, and this is the Cup segment game and the last game of week 6. Of course, Wesley College hosting Isipathana College, who are leading 13 points to 10. I beg your pardon, it's 10 points to 3. The referee Fernando. Isipathana, of course, scored 2 tries with courtesy of their fullback, Gayan Vikramaratne. Very good awareness between his winger Chamud Fernando. Good numbers coming in, both in the pavilion and the Sky Pavilion, especially being a weekday. And it's a very muddy condition on the field. Very hard to control the ball. We only saw pretty much playing most of the game in the Wesley half, although Wesley had few chances in the first half, especially entering the red zone. Murshid Zubair had 2 chances. One, of course, he slips. So anything could happen. Joining me in the commentary box, Paul Toya and of course Joel Tilakaratne. I pick up on, I don't know why I call you Pereira, because there's a Joel Pereira playing in this Wesley team. And what do you think, Paul, would be the instruction for Isipathana, especially after leading 7 points ahead?
I think they need to tighten up their defence. They need to execute properly. They're getting around the edge of the 13 and having better numbers on the outside a couple of times that they just haven't finished off, which I'm surprised about because their skill set's excellent. So you want them to be running a direct line, and that's exactly what the winger Fernando's been doing as well, and that's why he set up 2 tries. So I'd be expecting that they'll be executing that better. They'll be playing more of the territorial game and also the possession game that they've been playing so far.
Here we go, Murshid Zubair this time putting the kick inside the 22. Scrum of Bandara. Sending it to Randy Silva. It's not a good kick, but Gayan Vikramaratne chases well. Jurampati with the ball. Sending it to number 8, Jayawardena. Good fend off. Good support coming in as well. But Wesley all of a sudden came back from where they kicked into the centre field. But lovely break by Wesley's number 5. That's Sirivardhana. Tariq Jurampati playing as a scrum half, and a lovely offload to Avishka, but unfortunately knocks on the greasy ball. So change has been made for Wesley. I think Tariq Jurampati playing as a number 9. And Avishka Lee, interestingly, he has moved into the winger. So in that case, he's playing against Chamud Fernando. Coach Jeevan looks like he has read the threat already. Interesting move. Tariq Jurampati, the man in the scrum half, but Bandara was the Isipathana scrum half. Very good player. Vagisha breaks, and that is not a good pass, although Padmasanka collected neatly. Bandara sending out wide. Vishwajit going into contact. Bandara once again with a long pass. Well deep form that line this time. Captain Indunil. Good tackle coming in by Bahardin. A lovely break by number 6 this time. That's Adisha Veeratunga. Isipathana pretty much in control this time. Randy Silva coming into action, and long ball. Good collection by Sumudu Rankotke. And he knocks it on. Unfortunately, this is not the first knock on he made. This is his 3rd knock on. Quite unfortunately, Bahardin misses the foot in that soggy condition, but he still managed to go with his left arm to put pressure on Rankot. Good stuff. Good play by both the teams so far.
That was excellent desperation tackle there. He's 5 metres from his own line. He had a massive number 13 bearing down on him, and he slips over. It's a nightmare, and just holds on and causes a knock on. And there's been some great intent in the second half, isn't there? lot of straight running, a lot of play where they're trying to get over the advantage line, which I like.
Looks like an early engagement coming by Isipathana. It's a moving scrum. It's not square and steady.
Now, if you notice the scrums here, you can see the flankers on the side, and you can see that they're not really giving their props any support here. Their legs are in the wrong position, their body shape's all wrong, and then I see that they're not even getting off the side of the scrum. So one of the things a flanker can do is, if they're not going to support their prop properly, is they're doing that so that they can break off as soon as they can. But we're seeing players in two minds in both here. But as I say that, it looks like Isipathana flankers are putting some weight in.
It's another scrum. That's Wesley number 8 breaks. Good tackle coming on Fernando. Wesley still managed to secure the ball just by the whitewash. So many forwards, numbers on the ruck. Pick and run this time by number 17. That's Javardhana, the hooker.
Use it.
Wesley somehow have to put this ball out of jail. Jurampati opting that box kick, but it's not a good kick, is it? Well, good chase by Wesley winger on that occasion. Now this time sending out wide to the skipper. Zayan Saba needs some quick balls. Murshid Zubair sending it to Bahardin. He puts his left boot. Chamod Fernando, Avishkali just misses Chamod Fernando. There comes the combination. Rankotge with the inside pass to Chamod Fernando. Good tackle coming at the last ditch. Wesley still under pressure. A try coming on the card for Isipathana College. That's the big lock forward, Vishwajit, and he scored. Vishwajit scored. Brilliant stuff by Isipathana. They were so patient with the ball in hand, but that kick I think went to Chamud Fernando, but the defender Avishkali was too quick on that occasion.
Yeah, that's right. When you're pushing up and the player collects the ball, you just need to slow down so you can get your feet in the right position so you can effect the tackle. But surely one of the messages that should come from the coaching staff would be, let's not kick to Fernando. Every time he gets the ball in broken play, they seem to score. But I've got to say that the forwards for Wesley seem to be half asleep. Like there's no urgency. They were on their own try line. They're coming out, and I saw players just looking around, and there's no actual commitment to make sure that they do their job properly. Now, if their job is to take the ball forward, they didn't look like they were taking the ball forward hard enough. And then the players that are coming in to clean out need to actually do it with some intent. And I'm not seeing that at the moment, which would be disappointing for the Wesley supporters.
I agree with you, Paul. I think definitely Wesley, having understood that this number 11 is the danger man from the Isipathana camp, still seem to be kicking at him, and to make things worse, they are missing that crucial tackle, and that is what has been costly in the entire game for them. So it's time for Coach Jeevan to get that message across, and we see a beautiful kick from the fullback where he puts it right from the corner. So it's a good 3 point from Isipathana, and Isipathana now trying to run away with this game, and Wesley, for them it's now or never.
Yeah, that's right. Now, so what I like to see as a coach, to see how the players react. See how the leaders on the field, what are they going to do? How are they going to inspire their players? Because a change has to happen for Wesley. Now they look like they're walking around and they're a little bit down in the dumps. The leaders need to take hold of them and say, now is when we need to pick ourselves up.
Indeed, a little drizzle coming into play as well. And talking about that last coach Jeevan putting Tariq Jurampati into the halfback position and taking Avishkali into the wing position because he had the belief in him to defense, but that occasion he was too quick, and that where Chamod Fernando beats and made almost 30 to 35 yards. And with this drizzle coming in,
15.
so Bahardin is off. I'm not sure who's going to replace him. It's number 24 is on the field. That's, I think, Valpitage.
Yeah, it looked like the player was going off, was holding his shoulder a bit gingerly, so maybe he's got an injury. But I don't agree with saying that it's one player that has to take Fernando. It's you defend as a team, and if the winger misses it, it's because there's too much space being left out there for him. He's not defending alone; he's defending with 14 of his mates.
Isipathana just by the 10-meter mark. Bandara opting that box kick. Good collection in the air. Looks like a turnover. This is brilliant stuff by Isipathana. That's Gunaratna with the ball. Bandara sending out to Randy Silva. Sumuduran Kotke to Gayan Veeratunga. That's the Wagisha. Veerasinghe going into contact. That's a bad discipline by Tariq Jurampati. He is kicking from the offside position. That's perhaps could be a yellow card. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Captain.
I think that's going to be a warning maybe to Tariq Jurampati. If he goes out for the next 10 minutes, that's going to be a big trouble.
Yeah. Kicking the ball offside.
Great negotiation skills there by the captain. So he looked like he could have sold him a house there. He's just pleading his case.
Oh well, what's going on there? Referee calling back to the correct mark maybe. Still Isipathana not confident going into touch, so they want to play the running rugby. There goes Vishwajit, already scored the last try. Bandara sending it to Ekanayaka, the tight head prop. Ekanayaka is strong. He was put down by Captain Sabha. Randy Silva sending out wide, numbers 2. Kushan Indul with the contact. Once again, Bandara using the shorter side to run Kodge. Isipathana having numbers in the support play. Ekanayaka once again going into contact. Both Avishka and his opposite number Vimukti trying to hold him up. The ball comes loose. Randy Silva to Kushan in the nil. A lovely cutout pass to Padmasankar. And that's the try number 4 and the bonus point try for Isipathana College. Padmasankar says if Chamod Fernando can score in the other wing, I can score as well.
Yeah, and that was all down to the number 12, I think, or the number 13. He recognised the space. You saw his eyes come up. He looked, saw where the edge of the defence was and passed out. But I've got to say that Wesley defence is a bit lackadaisical again. I saw as phase after phase was coming along, Wesley were just sort of wandering around. There's no urgency, no. The communication's not there. Where they're not defending as a line, as a team, and players aren't urgent in getting in their position. And
Wesley seemed to have lost the plot here, Paul, because now that urges they showed in the first half, that I think the scoreboard is starting to get into them, and they're starting to miss a lot of tackles, numbers in the breakdown, a lot of crucial errors coming into the game, and that is being very costly. And the scoreboard, Isipathana really now taking it off and seems to run off, as we see number 15 taking the conversion.
Well, few replacements coming in. Gayan Vikramratna almost took his stance, but this time that's not a successful kick, so he missed a 3 out of 4 conversion, but he scored 2 tries. Very fast running nippy player. Here's the try came. That's captain putting a long cutout pass. Kushan Indul is sending out to Padmasankar. Tariq Jurampati had no chance to catch him. And there he goes for the 4th try. So Wesley in a little bit of trouble as we go into the 11th minute. Here at the Singer Schools Rugby League. This is the Cup segment here at the Royal Sports Complex. And of course the other 3 games on Saturday. Royal won against St. Peter's 33 points to 24, and St. Thomas College 41, St. Anthony's 11, and Science College 15-12 win over Trinity College at Pallekele. It's a good kick into touch by Bandara. Isipathana. Now perhaps they will be trying to score more and get more points.
Well, look, we need Wesley to show some personal pride here. Their defensive alignment and urgency has really been lacking in the second half, which you don't want to see. Now, when you see teams give up defensively, I'm not saying that they've given up, but it really shows the character of a team. And so now we want to see them show some more character and get back into this game.
Replacement hooker Shamil Ahmed with the throw in. This time he overcooked it. Bandara winning the ball. Randy Silva putting a little cheeky kick. That's Jurampati. Somehow Wesley supports coming. And there goes Wesley Vimukti, the tight head. Looks like almost a turnover. No, tackler should release. There's the replacement, sending it to Jurampati once again. That's Wesley centre. Gunathilaka going into contact. A good short pass by Murshid. Isipathana, great defense there. Wall of a defense like Wishwajit, the number 4.
They almost had a banner up there to welcome into that tackle, didn't they? They're just there waiting. But what I'd like to see from a defensive line is actually to move up. Let's not sit back and wait. We might be 22 points up or something like that, and you still need to do the basics because there's a few more games left in this competition. And now, even when you're winning, you've got to start practicing things that you're going to do against teams that are going to test you a little bit more.
Well, you can see Rahul De Silva coming with the kicking tee. The man who took to the Wesley College President Trophy finals. The winning team. Who's also playing for the Havelock Sports Club. Interesting decision, Paul. It's 22 points to 3 and Wesley opting for the 3 points. Maybe they have more confidence to come back again.
Well, to come back that far, you need to just start scoring points. So that's what they've decided to do. And if they're going to do that, the ball's going to be kicked back into their own half, and they have to be confident that they're going to exit their half properly and then come back and score more points.
And even though if they miss this kick, it's going to be a 22 restart. Like I said, it's not a good kick. Anyway, Wesley perhaps going to win the ball position. I think perhaps they should have taken that kick into touch or tap and run. Try to use the newcomers from the bench, fresh legs. Just like Isipathana did, they didn't want to take any kicks. Good collection by Zubair, sending it to Lee. Lee steps and put a long range pass to Tariq Jurampati. That's a poor communication between the winger and Jurampati. Going for a scissor move. No understanding at all. Murshid Zubair playing as a halfback. There goes a Vimukti. Good tackle coming by. Isipathana looks like a turnover. Good stuff. That's Madhushan. Sending it to Vagesha. There comes the danger. Fernando. Lovely offload on the floor. Vagesha is so strong on that ball carrying. Here's the other guy, Adisha. Gayan Vikramatna to Sumuduran Kotke fends off, and he didn't get the timing on that pass. Good defense coming in. Churampati putting Kushan Indonil just by the 22-meter mark. Randy Silva, a lovely loop ball coming in. 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Chamod Fernando steps. Chamod Fernando goes and looking for the offload. Good tackle coming in. But this time looks like
advantage offside number 1.
Just could not see the jersey number on that occasion. The ball carrier. Looks like
the referee's going to have a word. I think it looked a little bit cynical. The player stepped in. He might have been on an offside position and got his foot to the ball and stopped the attack. On the outside, Isipathana really got the numbers and they're flooding flooding through and attack.
Ekanayaka going into contact. There goes Vishwajit. Scored the last try. Well, the third try rather. Still the ball comes loose. Randy De Silva. Ekanayaka acting as the halfback. He's trying to put the offload to his prop forward. Isipathana playing much in control, but unfortunately looks like a knock-on in that occasion, but referee says play on, and as a result Sumudu Rankodge scoring the 5th try. For instance, I thought it was a knock-on by Rankodge.
It looked like it was a knock-on from our position, but for some reason the referee was right there and he decided it wasn't. But Isipathana are really turning the heat up now. Their intensity at the lines increased. They're running hard, they're running direct, and it was a great try there.
I think Isipathana is playing for the brand of rugby they are known for. Now they are really attacking. And in the first half they were a little limited, a lot of little mistakes coming in, but now they are coming to what they are known for. A lot of attacking rugby. They are gaining and passing the advantage line, and that is what really making an impact. And Wesley on the other hand seems to be missing a lot of tackles. They're not coming up off the line, so this is really making a great impact on the scoreboard.
Padma Sanka, the left footer, taking kicking duties over Gayan Vikramaratne. Padma Sanka taking his time, and that's a lovely kick to add another 2 points.
That was a great kick, and they've just decided that the right-footed kicker is pulling the ball across the face of the post, and that's why he's been missing. And they just changed the kicker, and they've gotten great results from that now.
Look at that try, Sumudu Rankodge on the ground, and then he was tackled by number 24, but he saw the whitewash, and then he just stretched his hands and scored the try, just like Anthony Watson did yesterday against Wales, isn't it, Paul?
Yes, that's correct. And I love how you got to have your little word about England playing and doing so well. And he's a great winger, though, isn't he, Watson?
He is indeed, and good to see his brother Marcus Watson also joined the 7 squad. Right, Murshid Zubair with the restart, once again sending it to the 22. Taken nicely by Bandara. The sunlight just distracting our cameras. That's a good kick, very decent kick by Isipathana, very controlled kick.
Very decent kick, but from the reception at the kickoff, they decided to pass it back 15 metres before the kicker got the ball. I don't understand that. Maybe they put the kicker over closer to the person who's receiving the ball and maybe go back 5 metres, and then he can kick it further again.
Indeed, so line out, Shamil Ahmed, the replacement hooker. Wesley supporters looked a bit shocked. Here comes that driving maul. Referee says use it once. Still controlling, still moving forward. It's a good sign. Now the maul is collapsed. Murshid Zubair using the shorter side. He knows that the penalty is on offer. Now this time Wesley perhaps should go into touch because the line out is so good. And also all the photographs and videos published on the ThePapare.com Facebook page are available for purchase at reasonable rates. For more info, email info@thepapare.com or call our hotline 0777 822 777.
Now I'll be interested to see how Isipathana are going to defend this, because they know what's going to come. They've just had to defend a driving maul there. Here they're going to defend another one.
It's a very good line out in there, taken nicely by Fernando. Once again, looks like a collapse scrum, correctly so. Referee Fernando, he has done a good game so far. Time off, says referee Fernando.
Captain number 6.
Good to see that Royal Sports Complex
Number 6.
scoreboard times also working along the referee's whistle, and looks like a card coming in.
Side deck in the back.
Oh dear me. This is number 6, Adisha Veeratunga, who was the man against Science College. He just missed that man of the match performance for the yellow card against Science College. But here you go, number 6. He's so good player, but he could not do much on that driving maul, especially with this condition.
That's right, but the coaching staff would have seen that at some point they're going to be defending against a driving maul, and when the game, it looks like the game might be wrapped up here. Like the score isn't in the balance, and it's an opportunity for Isipathana to really start defending in a match against the driving maul, and I'm disappointed that they didn't get that right, and they gave away the second penalty and had a yellow card.
So Wesley has some chance to put some momentum, but it's 29 points to 3. We are into the final quarter of this game, and there comes the driving maul. So much strength on that. Looks like a try coming on offer, maybe a penalty try. And it's a penalty, probably
Number
one
3.
last call
Captain,
by the
green.
referee.
Number 3.
Final warning, he says.
Captain.
This time it's against
Last warning.
Ekanayaka. Referee
In
did
the Paputa
warn
side deck.
Ekanayaka in the first half.
Right, okay? Get back, please. Penalty.
Coming from the side, says referee Fernando.
Come inside.
Tap and run by Captain Sabah.
Roll away.
Good tackle coming in. This is what they should have done in the previous penalty. Good defense coming by the Greens. Jurampati sending it to the replacement, number 24, going into contact. That's Walpitage. Murshid Zubair changing the direction. Remember, Isipathana playing with a man shot. Good offload. Lovely step by Avishka Lee, and he scores in the corner.
The question's got to be asked: is it too little, too late? Can they come back? Can they rally? Can they keep playing? And from the coaching staff, you'd be thinking we play right up to the last 80th minute. You know, maybe 82, 83 minutes, and see how far we can push. The game's never over until it's over, and they have another 10, 15 minutes of that sort of dominating play where they just need to get the ball into the line, into a line-out situation. Driving maul, and it looks like Isipathana can't control their driving maul, so that's where they need to attack.
Absolutely, Paul. Isipathana cannot control the driving maul, and they were not so good in the scrums as well. That will be a real issue when they play the next Royal and Royal Trinity and St Thomas's.
Yeah, that's right. We know that Royal will always have a driving maul, so Isipathana will be working on a plan for that. Obviously, coaches chunk parts of the season and say this is what we need to do to win certain games. They won't be getting beyond today, but they'll be putting things in place to try and combat the driving maul.
So Zubair misses the conversion, and it's 29 points to 8. Still a long way to go. 15 minutes remaining in the clock. Here's a look at the try. Pick and run by Shamil Ahmed, the replacement hooker. He was driven back. It's not easy to defend under this condition. And then the ball was sent to Walpitage. The number 24, good tackle coming by Kushan Indunil. And the center, Sumuduran Kudge.
No, yes. Release.
And a lovely offload to number 6. And he sent it to Avishka Lee. And he steps inside and scores the try. So back to live actions. Murshid Zubair playing as a halfback this time.
Putting down.
Wesley played almost 80% of their game inside their own territory, but that's a huge, brilliant cross kick this time. There goes Avishka Lee. The try scorer sends it to his brother Avantali. Gayan Vikramaratne, that looks a bit high, but very good tackle at the end. Well, it's all happening here at the Royal Sports Complex.
Number 15. Number 15, Green.
That's
Number
the
15.
break, in fact, by the try scorer, and good support run by his brother. That's number 13, Avantali. But what a lovely running chase tackle. It looked a little high, but it's a fair call, says referee Fernando.
Mark here.
So as a coach, you just want to see the ball go into the outside arm, and then he's got an opportunity to defend, and he only needed to get his hand in the face once, and he might have been away. Another thing he could have done was put a little kick in, but he had the gas. He was going for it.
Isipathana line out. Mana Barana. This time taken neatly.
Release.
Bandara sends out to Randy Silva as he puts the kick into Lee brother combination, also working well. This time steps by Avantali. Jurampati isolated, he slips, and that's a knock on, and then he played from the offside position. So good call once again by referee Fernando. He's having a good game, good day today.
Number 13.
That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate there for Wesley. They really needed to bring it back to where their forwards were and try and put pressure on, because they wanted to camp down here in this half.
Also, the ThePapare Lite is a social media platform covering the lighter side of sports, sporting events of institutions, students, corporates. And you can inform all your event info at thepapare.com or call the number on your screen. We are coming and going to cover your event. Joel, coming back to you, the last cross kick. You were the fly half, you captained your college during 2014. Have you made any of that kick?
Coming. Wait. Come in.
Well, tough one, Sabir. Yes, I have, but not every time has it paid off. But I think in this case, it really did pay off. Wesley got off their half, but now again, Isipathana back on attacking Rugby. So Wesley really, if they are to make a comeback, they got to defend now, and it's now or never for Wesley.
That's right, it's now or never for Wesley. Having said that, there goes the try scorer. Gayan Vikramaratne, the fullback. Randy Silva. There goes Vishwajit, the big lock forward. Looks like a turnover. Vimukti fighting hard. Now the captain Sabha trying to hold him up. Good defense by Wesley. Good defense to stop that big, huge Vishwajit of Isipathana.
He's a monster of a man, isn't he? He seems to go into contact and then stop, though, and that gives the Wesley team an opportunity, and they just got their shoulders and their arms underneath the ball and held him up, and there was a bit of a scrap there to try and hold him up or get the ball to the ground now. So Wesley is still, they still have a man advantage. So they'll be looking to exit here and try and get down to the other end, and the area they need to get to, they need to try and pin Isipathana down in one end and then get Isipathana to kick the ball out so they can have a line out and then use that dominant line out driving more.
Yes, indeed. Time is ticking. 10 minutes remaining here at the Royal Sports Complex. 29 points to 8 in favor of the Green Machine. This is the Singer Schools League Cup segment. You can also log into www.thepapare.com to get all the other article updates of the other 3 matches which are included on Saturday. Royal beating St. Peter's, St. Thomas's beating St. Anthony's, and Science College Mount Lanier beating Trinity College Kandy.
Number 3.
Going sideways, says referee Fernando. Number 3. Once again, Ekanayaka was ill-disciplined today in the front row. He was warned twice. Considered 3 penalties, and Wesley somehow finds touch. It's not an easy task, so Isipathana pretty much in a commanding position.
Yeah, that's right. And I would have hoped that the fly half would have reeled off a few more metres there and gotten them at least into the opposition half. But Wesley's line out has been dominant today, so let's hope that they can take it in, drive it up, suck some defenders in. They're not able to, and they lose the line out there.
Kushan in the nil, sending a long pass to Chamod Fernando. Fernando steps, Fernando goes into contact, and there comes the replacement fly half. Vishwadit that time going into contact, big busting hit, and that's offside, says referee Fernando. Looks like Wesley's number 4. Oh, lovely angle run by Sumuduran Kodge, and the offload to Chamud Fernando. Try time.
I've got to say those two centres are excellent, aren't they? They just changed his running line. It looked like there was numbers there in defence. Changed his running line, came on a harder line, and then just went half through the hole and fed Fernando on the outside. And just the timing of the pass, the angle of the run, such a mature way of playing in the centres that you don't normally see in schoolboy rugby.
Absolutely fascinating to watch Paul Chamud Fernando, the man with the water bottle. Outstanding, a well-deserved try. He was not playing the selfish game. He had the opportunity. He offloaded twice in the first half to Gayan Vikramaratne, who scored both the tries. And this is Padma Sankar, who made the earlier conversion. Looks good. And this is a bit difficult angle, and the distance almost 44 meters with the angle. The left footer also scored a try in this game.
So at 34 points to 8, there's no pressure on him here. So it's just kicking practice really. He'll just go through his routine, make sure he keeps his eye on the ball. In these conditions, it's the plant foot that you need to get right. If that slips, then it's difficult to get a good shot on the ball. But I've got to say that the skipper for Isipathana has had such an influential game.
Wow.
Beautiful kick.
Beautiful indeed. What a lovely kick. It's always good when you have the options of kickers in your team. Gayan Vikramaratne, of course, can kick. Padma Sankar and Randy Silva. Of course, Ruberu, who's replaced Randy Silva at the fly half place, also can kick. That's poor defense on that occasion by Jurampati. Not much noises. We didn't hear any Zamzam Zaki from the Wesley fans.
Yes, Abir, I think Isipathana team has silenced this Wesley crowd who has come in numbers, but I think this scoreline has really silenced them. Isipathana, on the other hand, still looking to attack. They might be looking at more points, because at the end, these points will matter when it comes to the final standings.
Absolutely. Avantali sending it to Avishkali, his brother. He steps and he fends. Good tackle coming in by Ruberu. Murshid Zubair at the fly half. Well, playing now as a halfback. Going into contacts by Dias. Captain Sabah going into contact. Good defense on him. That is not a good kick, especially straight into the fresh legs. Knock on advantage. Zubair to Jurampati. Good defense. Rushing, rattling now. Not a good decision making on that occasion by Wesley's number 24. That's Walpitage.
You saw there the kick from Isipathana. They weren't looking to kick to the sidelines. They were actually looking just to kick up the field. And the communication between the kicker and the chasers was excellent, in that the chasers were back and they knew that the kick was coming, and they just put heaps of pressure on. They just ran up and a great defensive line, and although they didn't turn the ball over straight away, the pressure was on Wesley.
And there's another replacement. Ekanayaka is off, and Vimadeva, who's coming into the tight head position. Early shove on that scrum.
Step by number. Hey, get. Bite.
That's not a clean feed by Murshid. You have to reset the scrum. It's not a scrum. The ball didn't go inside the channel. Wesley is fly half trying to break. Amit into contact. Not many bodies engaging in the ruck from Isipathana.
No.
Murshid Zubair to skipper Saba. Wow, nice tackle coming in by Sumuduran Kodge. He's showing his tackling skills as well. You have seen his running angles.
No.
Another one.
Advantage.
Isipathana still after
Out the
playing
number
the
12,
almost
advantage.
77 minutes. They are flankers, they are three quarters, still have some mojo in their team. Sabah going into contact. Murshid has to send some quick balls out wide. Here comes Amit. Big hit on Ran Kodge. Wesley still finding it difficult to break the line. Every time they get the ball from the breakdown, they are still moving backwards. Once again using the kick by Walpitage. Isipathana this time coming in numbers to that support play. No one at the back. Good understanding by Bandara. Jurampati fumbles. Knocks back, says referee Fernando. Good offload on the dedication, but Gunaratna just misses, and it says a little forward pass. Coach Nilfa Ibrahim bringing another 4 changes, giving all the bench players to have a go.
That's right, the coach will be looking towards the next few games. They're up 36 to 8, so the result isn't in question here, but he just wants to make sure that his whole squad has an opportunity to go through some of their drills. After they've had a break of a couple of weeks like they have just had, you want everyone to start getting some contact at game time. It's completely different to when you're training. Game time brings something that you can't replicate in the training week.
Don't push.
Well, 36 points to 8, and Wesley is attacking scrum just by the 10-meter mark. Oh, looks like Isipathana turned it over. Brilliant stuff. Fresh legs doing the trick.
Roll away, Blue.
This time pick and run by the number 17. That's Manabara. Bandara sending out to the backs. That's Captain Indulil fends off. Woof, 2, 3 and 4. And looking for the support. There goes the replacement, Ruberu. Isipathana just inching away. They have options in both the sides, right and the left. And they scored their try. I am not sure who scored that try. Looks like number 16. That's Angela. Turnover scrum. Here you go, Paul.
1 minute.
So, firstly, the forwards come on and they make 4 changes in the pack, and those forwards decide to show the coach why they should be starting instead of coming on in the second half. And what a great scrum! They just rolled over the top of them, and then the attack came, and it was Silva, the captain for Isipathana, who fended off 3 players, put a beautiful ball away. And he's had such an influential game. His passing game's been great. His running game, his decision making. He looks for space, and that really was his try for me. So there you have it.
Indeed, also it's time for us to decide the man of the match. I'm sure Avish Kali did well for Wesley, but it should be from the Isipathana camp, Gayan Vikram Ratna or Chamud Fernando. Even both the centers did really well. But Paul, what's your man of the match, Paul?
I thought the captain was the man of the match, number 12. He didn't score all the tries, but he was so influential. He straightened up his back line. He made sure that they were running straight and hard. His silky smooth skills set his outside centre away. There he took the space and set that try up as well. He set his winger up with a wide pass. His defensive game was there. It was a great display from the skipper.
That's the full time here. Isipathana winning convincingly. 43 points to 8 here at the Royal Sports Complex. 7 tries and 4 conversions for Isipathana College, and they are dominating this league. And next week they will host Trinity College at CNFC grounds. But Wesley, absolutely they must be disappointed with this performance. Coming back to Joel, are you agree with Paul that Kushan Inanil, the Isipathana captain, is the man of the match?
Most certainly, Shabir. I think he was indeed on point with his defense, with his attack, and he didn't play a selfish game. He let his other outside centers play their natural game. I think that's what a good captain can do, and he kept his players calm. Half time it was not that much of a lead, but to come back from somewhere as 10 points to 3 to go 40 points plus definitely says something about the captain as well. So credit to the Isipathana team for their outstanding performance.
And you can see the full-time stats on your screen. Isipathana winning convincingly after a lead in the half-time. And it was 10 points to 3 in the first half, but then came the second half. Isipathana storming past 3 more tries, finishing 7 tries and 4 conversions. And Wesley just 1 try and a penalty. And we have urged Kushan Inanil, the captain of Isipathana College, as the man of the match performance. So final thoughts on this game, Paul?
Well, I think Isipathana has really showed that across the paddock they've got a great team. They need to work on their driving maul defence. Their scrum needs to tighten up a little bit, but the conditions today weren't really that good for scrummaging. But their centres, their attacking play from when they receive a kick, their communication is excellent between the forwards and backs. Their defensive line is strong. They're looking great. I think Wesley have got a lot of work to do. Their kick chase isn't good enough. Their exit plays aren't good enough. They need to work on exactly who's going to be playing at 9. I'm not sure why Lee was taken away from 9 and put on the wing. They've got a lot of work to do. So, in summing up, I think Isipathana deserved the victory today, and they can look forward to another great match next week.
Thank you, Paul. So that's it from Royal Complex. Isipathana winning convincingly in the Singer Schools Rugby Cup segment. And we'll catch up next week with live actions on www.ThePapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub. And I'm thanking Joel Tilakaratna and Paul Toya alongside in the commentary box with me. And that's all we have from Royal Complex. Good night.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every step you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Progress starts with a dream. Through connectivity, technology, and talent, that dream can become a reality. Asiata, with you every step you take.
කොහේ ගියත් කොතැන හිටියත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා පිලේ එංගලන්ත සංචාරයේ උණුසුම් අවස්ථා ඔබේ මොබයිල් එකෙන් සජීවීව ඩයලොග් මයි ටීවී වෙතින්ම පමණයි. ඩේටා කාස්තුවක් නොමැතිව දවසටම රුපියල් 333ක් වැනි සුළු මුදලකට ඇති තරම් නරඹන්න. ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ටයිප් කර 82 82ට SMS කරන්න. ඩයලොග් වෙතින් මයි ටීවී අනාගතය අදයි.